Welcome everybody back to the Halo podcast. I am your host Noe, and welcome back to another episode. I know it's been a while since the last one. There was a bit of time in between today's and last ones, and I don't know. The semester got pretty busy, and there's only so much you can do as a full time student. But we're here nonetheless, another episode, and I'm really excited about this. Not only because the topic that we're going to be talking about today, but I have a special guest, a special one. Joining me today, Elizabeth.
Hi.
Tell me, what's your last name?
Palacios.
Palacio. Sorry. I said I was gonna say, but I didn't want to butcher
That's castles in Spanish, by the way.
it. Okay, there you go. So, Elizabeth, how are you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you for inviting me here.
Yes,
I'm
it's
so
it's great
excited.
to have you here, and I'm excited to see what we're getting into today. But before we do you want to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, sure. So I am Elizabeth. I study modern languages. I specialize in Spanish. I'm studying a master's degree here in K State. And I'm also teaching Spanish. I teach right now Spanish 1, 2 groups. So that's what I do.
Oh, okay, exciting.
Yeah.
Is this your first year here at K State, or how long have you been
Yeah,
as
I've been
a?
here like 6 months, I guess. Yeah,
Okay,
or
okay.
7.
So did you transfer from somewhere else, or you just started here? Like this is your first year in college?
That's a really good question. I'm from Mexico, so
Okay,
I just moved here like 6 months ago.
okay. What part of Mexico?
From the center, it's near Mexico City,
Okay,
Morelos. Yeah.
okay. Nice. My parents are from Guanajuato, Mexico, so I think it's like a 5 hour difference. Like if you're once driving, so it's not too far.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. But I'm glad to have you on the podcast. But before we get
Thank you.
started, how has your week been?
Very busy. But I mean, it's part of being a grad student, right? Um, I had a lot of things, like a presentation in my literature class. I'm taking a feminist literature class, and I had to present about the book that we were reading, which is Ifigenia by Teresa de la Parra. I recommend it though; it's good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had to present about it, and there's a lot of things. It's such a good metaphor. It's about feminism and racism in the 20th century.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I think that's I known a few people throughout the years that kind of studied about uh I think it's the study it's a study. It's like a anthropology, like a I think it's a study of genderism. I don't think it's a word. Or gender studies. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I think there might be some courses that I don't know if they have it here, but I think there is offered in some colleges of that. That's cool. That's nice that you have that going.
Yeah.
Any plans for the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, right today I just have like art exhibition with my friend.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna be great because he's a good artist. And then tomorrow, I don't know, probably homework and a party. I was invited, but I don't know if I'm going.
Okay.
Again, grad student.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've heard like it's a lot of workload
Yeah.
being in graduate school for sure. Well, sounds like you have an eventful days ahead of you for this weekend, so hopefully
Yeah.
everything works out and you have a good time with that.
Thank you.
Of course. And so yeah, for
What are
me,
your plans of the weekend?
yeah, for me, I homework. That's a main thing I'll prioritize. But other than that, just kind of enjoy the weather.
Yeah,
'Cause
right. It's
it's
so good
been
now.
really
Mhm.
nice, cool breeze. I'm
Mhm.
sure all the students noticed that by now. A big difference between this week and last week,
Totally.
another
Mhm.
snowstorm we had. And yeah, I was kind of expected. I thought the first one was all right, but then last week, the unexpected snow we had, I don't know, that was kind of a curveball that the weather did to us. But
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I prefer the cold, but I am kind of a little sad now that the winter is coming to a close. But
Oh,
it's all right.
I'm team heat always.
You prefer the heat than the cold?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah. I don't know. But I do like the transition from winter to summer with which spring. I like spring because it's like I don't know, just like the perfect temperature of like the sun hitting you and like you just feel the warmth and then the cool breeze, just the bursts of wind, just like you know while you're
Totally.
walking. It's just like a very at times even therapeutic, if I say.
Actually, yeah, I love this weather. Like, I don't like too much heat either.
Mm-hmm.
This one is perfect. Yeah, fresh.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I do enjoy that, but when it gets really hot and humid, I'm like, okay, well, I don't want it to be too hot.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, all right. But nonetheless, we're gonna get into today's topic, which is the power of music, um, specifically Latin music, because I'm sure you, Elizabeth, and much of our listeners have um had experience with music. Like, who doesn't listen to music, right?
Yeah.
In some way or form, whether it's with lyrics or just instrumentals or just like a rhythm and beat, like it, I don't know. I just think it is nice to hear. But
Definitely.
we have an article that we'll be touching on throughout this, called like it talks about the Spotify Wrapped in 2024. So and it just highlights three artists specifically: Peso Pluma, Karol G, and Bad Bunny. Now, of course, I'm sure these are well known. Um, I'm pretty sure everybody knows by now, like these Latin artists and how influential that they are. But I just want to get started. What type of Latin music do you listen to, Elizabeth?
I listen to a lot of artists. Actually, from the ones that you mentioned, I just listen to Bad Bunny, really.
Mm-hmm.
Karol G, not that much, but I can say that she's good. Peso Pluma, I don't listen to him, never.
Mm-hmm.
But I have my reasons, and I also will tell you later.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
and right now, I think that I listen more unknown artists.
Oh.
Well, not unknown, but
Like
like
not
underrated
right,
artists.
like not on the radar yet, just like starting out. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is there a specific one you can that comes to mind to
Yeah,
you?
right now I've been listening a lot to Carmen Goet.
Carmen Goet
Yeah,
is
she's
the
a Mexican.
Mexican. Okay.
She sings also opera.
Oh.
Uh, I don't listen only the opera that she sings, but she also sings like ballads and romance.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, when it comes to Latin music, of course, reggaeton.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it depends on my mood, you know. If
Yeah.
it's like party mood, or if it's more like romance, then I would listen to other type of music like Natalia Lafourcade or artists like these.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you
Luis
listen?
Miguel.
Okay, Miguel. Yeah.
Luis Miguel. Yeah.
Luis Miguel.
Do you
Okay.
know
Yeah.
Luis Miguel?
Yes. Yes. I don't know. I'm a visual learner, but I'm sure that name does sound familiar. But other than the ones you just mentioned, do you listen to other genres like rock, pop, like rap music or hip hop, anything like that?
Definitely pop, but not. I don't think rap. You know, but when it comes to English, yes, I would
Mm-hmm.
say that in Spanish I don't listen to rock or hip
Mm.
hop.
Right.
Actually, I am in the. I'm taking the classes of hip hop cardio, but that's in
Oh.
English, you know.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think it's because I'm bilingual. It's like a different feeling of everything. I just yeah.
Okay. Have you ever listened to J-pop before or K-pop?
Yeah, but I don't like it that much.
No, you don't. Okay. Okay. That's
Do
fair.
you like it?
I do. I do.
Okay,
I've,
that's cool
in
though.
a sense, I kind of just like grown up with it because I'm really fond of like Japanese culture, like when it comes to
Mm.
like all their entertainments, like the games, books and like music, anime, all that stuff. And that just kind of specifically with anime, that kind of I noticed that there's a transition from like the music that played in those films, and then it just my phone because I listen through YouTube Music
Yeah.
and Tidal, and it kind of like recommends based on like your thing, like the algorithm or whichever system that it is, and it gives you suggestions, right? And then I just found myself
Mhm.
slowly transitioning into J-pop, which is Japanese pop music or city
So do you
music.
know Japanese?
I don't know Japanese. I know some phrases,
Okay.
but you would think that after really watching and listening to a lot of their music for over the years that I would learn Japanese by now, but I don't. But
You
like,
can later. I mean,
yeah, I could later. But like, you know, the beauty of like music, it's like you don't have to understand the
I
language in
totally
order
agree with
to
you.
enjoy the music. It's like even
Yes.
though I don't know like what the lyrics are saying, it's like, you know, their vocals, like how they switch from high pitch to low pitch, and the rhythm and the beat, it's like a vibe. It's like you can just go, you know, a vibe. Like, you know, I'll be dancing there sometimes, just like, you know, doing my thing, and then sometimes there's like,
Yeah.
you know, their version of like rhythm and beat or like romance type of genre music too. And like that in itself is also nice too. It's like it's
Yeah,
like
I
really
relate to
good.
that so much. I mean, I listen to obviously English and Spanish music, but I also listen to Russian music. I don't even
Okay.
know, Russian,
Yeah.
Italian music, which is closer to Spanish. So I
Mhm.
kind of sometimes I can understand some things,
Mhm.
but not really too much. And French music too, I love. I don't. I get you. Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. It's I don't know. I think it's like one of the beauties that of just music in general. It's like you just don't need to understand the language for that to enjoy parts of it. But no,
Mhm.
I just think it's interesting to hear people's different music tastes. 'Cause it's like I don't know. It's like many, you know, different
Mhm.
genres that I know. Like for some reason, like I knew there was German music because like I've been to like a study abroad program in Germany.
Cool.
Um, but like I didn't know there was. Well, of course I had an idea, but I didn't know some people listen to Russian music, or I
Yeah.
guess I never have come across anything of the such of like I can't really tell what language would be um that I would be listening to. Like I can't really I guess differentiate between German and Russian of language. I don't know if that's like a I don't know. I hopefully that people don't take that as a bad thing, but I am interested at some point learning the language German, but
That's
that's far
cool.
down the road. Or
And
maybe Japan.
like German metal.
Oh, I
Oh my
mean,
god.
yeah. I mean, I do like rock for sure. Which that didn't come into play until probably like around COVID is when I started to actually listen to like hard rock and stuff like that. So I was like,
Mm,
wow. And then my first concert I ever been was actually a rock band.
wow. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't consider myself like a huge fan of those genres, but I'm just saying like because it's like a very strong language.
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like mostly in metal,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very loud. You know, for sure. It's like listening to like long periods of time. Oh, I mean, any music can be loud, but just the screaming part,
Exactly.
the
Yeah, yeah.
screaming part is like can be
It's
intense at times.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But have I'm sure you've been to concerts before, right?
Yeah, but mostly pop. Just pop, actually.
Okay, what was the last one that you've been to?
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles.
Yeah.
When was that?
When?
Yeah, when was that?
Oh, like, I don't know, mm, 2022, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
And then was it? Where was it? Where did it take place? The concert?
in Mexico City.
Mexico City.
Yeah, I don't
Really?
remember exactly which stadium, but yeah.
Okay. And then like, did you go by yourself? Did you go with a group of friends?
Oh, I
Or
went with my sister.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then how was it? Did you guys had a good time?
Yeah, I mean, we both like very much Harry Styles. The
Mhm.
only thing I don't like to be in like general. I mean, I prefer to be like in the upper seats, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. You guys were like
Yeah,
in like the floor.
like where you are like standing and
Oh,
everything.
you
And
had to stand the whole time.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, still, it's Harry Styles, so it
Yeah.
was a good experience. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Did it what was your favorite thing about that concert? If you had to think about it.
He's just so beautiful.
Okay. Did you guys like were close to the
Not that
stage?
much, but and he's also like he did some jokes, and I guess he is able to connect with the audience a lot. And of course, the songs are cool though. But I
Mhm.
think that's my favorite thing. Yeah,
Okay.
when it comes to a performance, and if the artist is dancing, off. I really want to go to a Tate McRae's concert
Oh.
because of the performances. Like the dancings would be so professional for me.
Okay. What
Yeah.
kind of genre of music do they play in that? Or is it
Tate,
yeah.
that's pop.
Pop. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I never heard. Of
And I
that.
guess hip hop too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's 'cause I think I experienced that too. Like the first concert I've been to, I think it was 2021 around August or September it took
Mm.
place, or 2022, one of those two. But I ended up going by myself. I was hesitant. I didn't expect to because I was going with my cousins, but last minute like they didn't
That's
end up
brave.
going. So and I went by myself. But I mean, it took in place in Kansas City, Kansas downtown. That's where I'm from, my hometown. So it wasn't too far off. Where I was living at the time, and yeah, and then I went there, and then there was like a whole line that wrapped around the building, and yeah, and then like by the end of it, I was like, okay, that was fun. Like that wasn't that bad. I didn't get kidnapped. I didn't get
That's my
anything
fear
like
too.
that. And it's, but it's like I don't know. I had a good time, and then for some reason, like I don't know, maybe my facial expression said something different, but like there was a halfway where like there's like a concession stand or like to get refreshments or drinks, like because
Yeah.
the band I was playing, they had people to open for them, like other bands play for them, and then they were like the final performance for the concert. And I maybe of course people drink or are under the influence when they go to these concerts. So
Mhm.
like I just remember I was in line and then a guy just cut in front of me, but before he did, he just kind of grabbed me by the shoulders and not in an aggressive manner, but he was like, "Everything's gonna be okay," and then he just went by his
Okay.
day, and I was like, "Oh, all
Thank
right."
you. That was in Kansas City then?
Yeah, Kansas City, KCK, that
Wow.
downtown. That's what where
I
it
mean,
took
and
place.
that's not like
I didn't at the moment. I wasn't like
very sketchy or
no.
anything,
Like he it was like if he like for some reason in that moment like he knew me all his life and he just somewhat not in an aggressive manner put his hands on my shoulders and like I think he was a bit taller and he just looked at me like everything's gonna be okay and then he
Maybe
walked
he saw
away.
you like so alone or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
lost.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
probably. I mean, I don't know about loss, but I think maybe me being alone
Yeah.
was a portion of it. But no, I had a good
But that's
time.
funny though. That's great. I mean,
No,
I
yeah,
think that when you're able to make plans with yourself, you're in another level of, I don't know, like yeah, it's self-love, but mostly I guess it's confidence. Like when
yeah.
you travel on your own, when you go to concerts on your own, I think
Hmm.
like you're just too comfortable.
Hmm.
I admire that honestly.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing again in April and in May. I bought 2 tickets to 2 other concerts that's gonna happen. So I'm
Which
also
artist?
uh the first one. Well, actually three. I think it's potential still, but I'm pretty sure it's final. So 3 concerts the next 4 months. Basically, so 2 of them are taking place in KCK, around the same area where I went to that concert. Remy Wolf is
Wow. I don't
the
know
artist.
her.
She does, I think it's indie pop or something within
Okay,
that
I
genre.
love indie.
Yeah.
Such a vibe.
So yeah. So I think I haven't really looked into it. I only have like 2 or 3 tracks from her. So like I haven't, I'm not really like a big fan, but I like her track and music.
Mm.
And then I saw that because I originally was buying tickets for this other band called Wallows.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
know
you
that
know
one.
Wallows?
Yeah, I
Okay,
know.
yeah,
I mean, it's
and
not that recognized,
right,
but yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I know.
and they're coming in towards the end of May. So
Cool.
I bought tickets from that venue, but then the website shows you like what are other upcoming, and then I saw her Remy Wolf was also going to be
You're
playing
like,
in
I'm
that
going
same
to
venue. And I was
all
like,
of them.
you know what? Let me go ahead and do that. So I bought 2 tickets. So, and then I'm also going with a group of friends to, for some reason I have a hard time with his first name, Rao, Rao.
Raul Alejandra.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh
yeah.
huh.
He has a concert in Denver, and then me and a
Oh,
couple of friends
cool.
are gonna go in April.
That's so cool though. He just released his new album.
Yeah,
That's the reason, right? He's making
I
concerts right
yeah
now.
I again he's also somebody that I don't have many tracks or I'm a fond of, but again I like some of his tracks. But my friends
Yeah,
were
I
like
get that.
they offered it. I was like I'm down to go. Let's do it.
I think Veronica loves it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, a friend.
That's cool.
But yeah, so very eventful those 2 months for
I'm
coming
well
up for
happy
sure.
for you. I
Yeah.
hope you enjoy.
Of course. But I kind of want to switch and talk about some of the things that the article brings up because
Yeah.
with Bad Bunny, Karol G, and Peso Pluma, it's mentioned that like these were the three most artists streamed globally for,
Yeah.
of course, the Spotify Rap 2024, according to them. And and it just like to me when I was reading through this article because it just highlights a little bit of like their career and what genre they play with Peso Pluma, with his albums of Exodo and Genesis. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it, but
Genesis.
Genesis. Okay, yes. And then Carol G, female artist, with her album Mañana Será Bonito. And I actually like some of her tracks on that. I think I don't remember on top of my head of what the track is, but there's a few of them specifically that I do enjoy. Sorry, I'm like blanking on her name. I don't remember, but I like some of her tracks on that album for sure. And with Bad Bunny, I feel like
Okay, I have a
everybody
lot to say
knows
about
Bad
that
Bunny.
album. Okay.
But
Bad
yeah,
Bunny.
and what he released in that album is very
Yeah,
getting a lot of attention. But yeah,
definitely.
so what do you think about when you read this article? Like, what are some things that came up for you?
Yeah, I mean, what I see is the top artists that are
Yeah.
literally becoming very mm, viral right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they have been before, but right now they're in the spot, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I have different opinions about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Bad Bunny, I really liked it, the new album.
Yeah.
I mean, Debí tirar más fotos. I think it's his most mature album so far.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, I think that Un Verano Sin Ti and this one should be his best work so far too.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my research because I know we already know that they are top artists and everything, but I guess so many people don't know the whole context behind it and the
Right.
everything. So
No, yeah, because I think it's common that people like when they listen to music, like, of course, not everybody's like this, but like,
yeah,
I guess how the social media has maybe put it that there's a certain amount of people that just listen to the music for the sake of like they like the rhythm, the beat, and the voice of the artist,
yeah,
and they don't necessarily pay attention to the lyrics,
exactly.
And so I think that's what you're kind of touching on a little bit there.
Yes, I
Yeah.
am telling you all the tea today.
Yeah.
So actually, I watched the 12-minute short film that he made. It's about an old man who is actually Puerto Rican actor and cineast. Is that how you say it?
Insidious?
Cineasta.
Siniesta? I think that's yes.
Okay.
For sure.
So his name is Jacobo Morales, and he's basically telling this toad, whose name is Concha, that he should have taken more photos of Puerto Rico. There's this song that is literally called Debí tirar más fotos. So it's like, I should have taken more photos. And
Oh.
yeah, you might think this song is about, I don't know, nostalgia and everything, but really it's because it's talking about he's like, I should have taken more photos before Puerto Rico was beginning or getting gentrified, because this whole album talks about gentrification of Puerto Rico. And for those who don't know what gentrification is, this is a growing problem in Puerto Rico where wealthy outsiders are buying up real estate and driving up housing costs. So people are forced, to leave their homes because everything is more expensive now and a lot of people are poor. So a lot of locals have to leave and emigrate from there. And it's also converting cultural places in places like malls and stuff like this for the wealthy people as well.
Okay.
Or the, more capitalist places. And these places are all related to culture and, they are just traditional. And it also shows how Puerto Rico is getting more Americanized, if I can say it like that. And I think it's also a really good metaphor because the toad that shows, I don't know if you know it. Have you seen the videos
I don't think I have seen it yet.
Okay, you
No.
should see the videos of the new
Okay.
album
Okay.
because there's this toad, which is it's not a frog, it's a toad,
Mhm.
and it's basically this species that is in endangered of extinction. So
Mhm.
it's like a metaphor of like, okay, this toad is endangered, so is Puerto Rico, you know?
Mm.
Like the whole culture, even okay, in the short film, it even speaks about like the fact that they are not even talking in Spanish anymore, you know, which is also very concerning because, of course, I'm a Spanish teacher and I love Spanish, so it's very sad this part, and not
Yeah.
only that, like the fact that they cannot even afford their lives, and they are, you know, they were born there, so
Mhm. Do you think that because people that are born in Puerto Rico, they are also citizens in the U.S.
mm-hmm.
Do you think that plays a part in how things are kind of like unfolding with his album and that short film that he's mentioning? Of like maybe it's contributing to like those real estate being purchased by, I'm assuming, foreigners, or like, or I guess not
Yeah,
foreigners in
actually,
a sense, but because of some of that maybe.
yeah, totally. Um, yeah, it's basically because of the literally the foreigners and the whole influence of the culture, which there's nothing bad about it. I think we can mix cultures, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it's not getting very preserved, I guess. And
Okay.
also, if you watch the short film, the guy cannot even pay for his food, you know, because he's trying to pay in cash and he's an old guy. He's trying to pay in cash and they tell him, no, you can't, like, we just accept card. And then he's like, but literally, I came yesterday and I paid with cash. Like, what's going on, you know? And he's like, I used to know the owner of this place. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry, but you can't. And then someone else comes and they give him, they pay for his food. And they say, like, don't worry, we're still here. Like, we, we're still here and we are managing, you know, to be Puerto Ricans who are still in Puerto Rico, basically, you know,
Mm-hmm.
which is also sad. But I think it's very moving, and I think that it's great that Bad Bunny is making this, you know, argument because he has a very huge audience. So
Yeah. So knowing this, right,
yeah.
of like the message behind like some of this, the film, and like that plays into like some of the things he talks on the album,
Mm-hmm.
does that for you affect how you enjoy his music in a sense, or does it you do you still does it change anything for you about the music that he plays at all? I guess for this specific album.
I think yes, because honestly, I when Bad Bunny just started, I didn't like him at all
Mm-hmm.
because, and I'm just gonna be honest with my opinions here. He used to talk a lot of like sexualizing the woman and like excesses, you know, which is, I mean, yeah, you can play it in parties, but at the end, also the message is not gonna be very positive. So, and also he used to talk a lot about materialism, and he just, I don't know if, I think it's because he matured, you know, as a person. He is now an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in that. Other people think that it's just marketing, but even I saw some interviews, and he shows like a genuine concern for Puerto Rico. And I mean, I think it's, you know, it's valid because his family is there. He was born there. He grew up there. And now I think, I don't know if you can relate to this, but for me, it's like when you leave your home, you know, you see it in another perspective and then you get to value it more. And I think that's what happened to him. And actually, he kind of mentions that throughout the album
Mm.
as well. And now he's like, well, um, I didn't value you so much, but now, you know, I love you with Puerto Rico and the traditions and everything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think I really like it. And I just, I like that people use their voice to say something more meaningful, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
especially doing it in an outlet such as like music, that's just like a
Yeah.
powerful way because like music is just really grasp and can like bring emotions to an individual in sorts of
Exactly.
ways. And kind of going back to what you brought up earlier of like relating, because I was born here in Kansas, but my
Mhm.
parents they were born in Mexico, right, Guanajuato. So it's
Mhm.
like I never had this experience like that, but I'm curious like to ask him if like, well, I guess I don't even need to ask him because I guess I they're my parents. I know so much of them already that I think in a sense like they probably do feel that sense of like viewing home differently,
Yeah.
and like that does something because like I guess for me I can be in a sense of like home being 2 hours away, which is in KCK, but
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a different feeling when it's in another country home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And so yeah, but I've um yeah, with this album with Bad Bunny, the ones he released, um I forgot what track it was, but it I do when I listened to it and it was coming up on like my social medias, of people pointing out that specific track of when he said of like I wish I would have taken more photos, or I forgot how he said it the lyrics in Spanish or somewhat, but
Debí tirar más fotos.
yeah, and then like
Yeah.
people were kind of playing it back, and then I saw some of the comments that were kind of hinting at some of that things that like, oh, I think there's like deeper meaning here than what it's
Yeah, I
being
love that.
actually depicted of just seeing what the song is itself, right? Um, but yeah, I didn't know that stuff that was happening in Puerto Rico. Now that you mention, I was not aware.
Mm.
But I don't know. I guess before it's like I just knew that he was a well known, very loved music artist. But I
Mhm.
think it's good to know some of these things about
Yeah.
the things that are going behind as well.
Yeah, it's
Um,
so cool. Another thing is, I really like this phrase that he mentions at the beginning of the album.
okay.
That is the mientras uno esté vivo, uno debe amar lo más que pueda, which is while one is alive, one should love as much as possible. And this is not about Bonnie's phrase. Actually, this is Jacobo Morales' phrase, which is the one that I told you before.
Mm.
The cineast and the actor
Mm.
is Puerto Rican. So,
Okay.
yeah, this is his phrase.
Okay.
And I
Nice.
really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
Well,
you have like any favorite songs of this album?
I I haven't listened to it completely other than that one track that that
Debí tirar más fotos?
yeah, that's the only track
It's
I've
so
listened to,
good.
but I've I did see clips of like the video like films of like the one that you're mentioning, and now I think after this I'm gonna look at it a bit more and
Yeah.
see
You
if I
should.
can
I mean,
pick
it
up the
has a lot
songs.
of, variety because, for example, teams like Nueva York, Nueva York,
Mm-hmm.
are more into like the salsa, but also perreo
Oh.
combined. And then Baile Inolvidable is salsa. And we have others more chilling, like La Mudanza. Actually, what I read is that it kind of gives the energy of like you being with your tios,
Oh
with
yeah.
your uncles.
Yeah. Just
And that's why like they have these chairs for the album's photo. Like
mm,
it's something very related to the Latin American culture.
yeah.
Like okay, just like a chill day with your tios or like a chill day just there.
No, yeah. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I am definitely gonna look at that video, and we'll
Yes.
actually add it in the notes for our listeners to look into if they find want to look into what that film looks like as well.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm
And there's another song like it's called Turista, and you will think that this is about a girl, but it's actually not talking about a girl. It's talking about Puerto Rico, and it's talking like, yeah, it's like it's saying in my life you were a tourist, um, and it's saying how much he misses Puerto Rico, but like the Puerto Rico that he used to know and stuff like this. So
mm-hmm,
I think it's just so genius.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. You should listen to it.
No, yeah, I think there's really unique ways of how they kind of put messages in a
Yeah.
certain way like that for sure. But um, I'm
Yeah.
trying to pull up right now because I want to segue into Karol G, the
Yeah.
next artist that's on this, that mentions on the article, and I found, because I have it open up right now, and it's Okidoki and Provenza, the remix on her Mañana Ser Bonita album, which released in 2023. Like those are the two songs that I listen to the most. Like when I listen to it, it's like it gets me moving. Like I want
That's
to,
so good.
and it's like it's really really nice. Cause like for me, I want to learn how to dance, not only like improve like cumbia, bachata, merengue, salsa, and all that, but also like I want to learn how to like break dancing. The only reason with
Wow.
that is because I took in some classes, anthropology classes, and one of them was ethnomuseology, and so that's basically the study of like the cultural aspect of anthropology, but through music. So literally, there's
Wow.
ethnomuseologists that like go and like basically their career can be just like going to concerts or listening to a lot of music and studying each part of it from like the stage, like the audience, like the lyrics behind it, like how it's expressed to the artist and like the interpretations of like certain ways. And it's like and so that that kind of got my interest of like, okay, because I actually did one of my uh it's, I guess you could say, a final, but like I did like one of my projects of me going to Germany. I guess it's like a what's it called, it's a research proposal, as if I was doing a master's, go to
Wow.
master's graduate, and like basically that was like one of the options for doing the final. And so like I presented um that I break, because I my study that I would have been doing if I actually went through with it, but this was just for the sake of like it being a final, was going to Germany, and I think it's between Frankfurt or Berlin or some of the other places around those areas, of just learning how breakdancing or hip hop culture emerged from that area. And a part of it has to
Wow.
do with like because of course like people that were in the military, like Frankfurt is like a military base, I'm pretty sure. And then with people that are in the military, they travel quite a bit. So like I think throughout the years, as hip hop culture first emerged there, you know, I don't remember
But
much because it's been a while since I took that.
how is the type of dancing? I cannot imagine it. Like how do they dance?
Breakdancing.
Yeah.
So like, have you? Okay, so it's a lot of like there's some moves where like you're spinning on your head, or like your feet are up there,
Oh,
you do
okay.
breakdancing,
Wow,
and
that's
it's like,
so
yeah,
cool.
like that
I
type
know,
of
I know.
music.
Yeah.
And like I kind of want to learn how to
You
do
should.
that, but it's like it seems like a lot of work. But I'm sure with consistency, I can get it down. But
Definitely.
that's
Have you tried the K-State Latin dance classes?
I have seen it. I just haven't had the time
Okay.
because of my schedule. But I guess what I'm trying to go here is like wanting to been learning, and am still learning of how to dance. Not only like,
That's so cool.
Latin dances like cumbia, but also breakdancing, and just like, yeah, some of those things of like, I don't know, not necessarily like the ones you see on TikTok and you just like, you know what I'm talking
Yeah, no,
about,
no,
like
no.
I
Like
guess TikTok
superficial.
dances now they're even referred to.
Yeah.
Um, but when I listen to those two tracks from her album Mañana Se Bonita, I just can't help but like move. And then for me, it's like I say that I know how to dance. If a stranger saw me dancing, they'd probably be like, what the heck is this guy doing? Like they won't
In
even
Latin
reckon.
dance.
Right, right.
No,
But like for me, I just move my body to like
that's
the
good
rhythm and
though.
beat, and like that's how I go about it. Like,
That's how
is that
it starts, you know. You have
yeah?
to feel it. Some people just think about it and it's like feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that.
Is that a similar experience for you? Like when you dance, or do you dance?
Yeah, I love to dance.
Okay.
Actually, I think in Mexico, you know, it's so common that in parties or events, even family or even in weddings, quinceañeras, you dance a lot. So there's people who can teach you if they already know.
Yeah.
And that was my case, you know. I went to some parties and my friends taught me or my family taught me.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the thing. Like, I used to be so rigid and like thinking a lot, but
Yeah.
throughout the years I learned that you have to feel it, you have to lose yourself, you have to, you know,
Yes.
enjoy it, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love like how you said it. Like you lose yourself in
Yeah.
just the dance, and like I think that's like the most purest form of like I guess just enjoying it because like you at the end you're
Yes,
like whoa like you kind of almost like in a trance motion of like you were doing the whole thing until
definitely.
from when like if it's like you're playing if you're dancing to a song and when a song ends it's like oh like that was exhilarating, that was good.
Yeah, and
you
losing
know.
track of time too. It's just the best.
Yeah, it's like yeah, that's the telltale signs that like you are enjoying the rhythm of the beats and everything from like
Yeah,
the movements of the dance to like the lyrics that you're listening to sometimes. But yeah, I mean, because now this actually reminds me, because when I was young and I was a kid, I don't know. Let me know if you experienced this too or not. My mom would, now it's very distinctive because now that I'm older and, my mind wasn't how it was back then because I was a kid, right, and immature. But she would, like, every Saturday morning, my mom would, like, play, music that I despised or didn't like. And, because I wasn't, my taste in music or even then, I didn't really go on my way to listen to music. It was only when like my parents played it, which was like almost like half the time. But for me, when I was young, Saturday mornings, like my mom would like start cleaning, and then she just plays the music. And I think it's because like,
like
I
Selena.
yeah,
Of
so
course, that's
yeah.
a classic for cleaning.
But no, I think because like for me, like I was always like, ugh, like whenever my mom cleans for the day, because then I have to help her or whatnot, and like I, was a lazy kid. And then because of like and then she would play music, so I just made that connection in my mind where it was like, okay, whenever she plays music and I wake up Saturday morning of hearing music, I am already that emotion comes up like oh she's gonna be cleaning, and then now it's like I guess that's part of like around that time whenever each time she did it I was like oh now I know what's gonna happen, and once I go to the living room she's gonna be like no way go clean, go help me
Hmm.
out. But now now after years like years later, right up to now I can say that I'm a more appreciative of her doing that because that also kind of in a sense influenced my taste in Spanish music specifically
That's great.
because I a few months ago I ran into some of the tracks that she played when I was young there, and it's
Mm.
I think I mentioned it's Éxitos y Más by Monchi and Alexandra. It's like bachata music.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yes,
so good.
and
Yeah.
I remember because I listened to the whole thing. It's almost like all these tracks I love, but it's specifically Dos Locos. Like when I heard
Right
that,
now, I don't know, but
it
if
was
you
just so
play
good.
it, I think I will know. Yeah.
Okay, well I'll maybe I'll play like a little.
Okay. Yeah. And like Romeo Santos with bachata too. It's so good.
Yeah, and this specific one that just like because the YouTube kind of recommends
That's so
suggest
good.
music, and that just came up.
Yeah. That's the
And
type of music that they play in Latin night.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't heard it yet, but I'll be interested
Not
if
that
it
one
comes up.
though, but that type. Yeah.
No, yeah, but that came up in my suggestions on like YouTube Music and or title a months back, and it just
That's
like it brought back memories and like just a bit of nostalgia. I was like wow, like this was a point of time where like years ago that like my mom played this while she was cleaning, and then I don't know, now I'm just more I guess appreciative
I
of those
thought,
memories with her,
yeah.
even though my 11, 10 year old self was like this is like the worst day I have to clean,
You're
right?
connecting with your heritage culture, I guess, you know.
Yeah,
But it's also like maturity because maybe sometimes you can be like, you know, disconnected to it, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I think like like kids that are around the age 11 or 10, like you're still developing, right? It's like
Mhm.
you're not fully mature.
Mhm.
But do you have a similar experience of like that, of maybe like a maybe something you came across of a track and then it just reminded you something way back when?
I mean, in general, with culture, I mean, I've always loved Mexican culture, but it's not until now that, I get to really, really appreciate like everything. And mostly now that I'm teaching Spanish, I didn't, I didn't listen to that much music in Spanish back in
Mm-hmm.
Mexico because I also was learning more English to be able to,
Mm-hmm.
be here.
Right.
So it's like now that I'm here and I'm teaching Spanish, I listen to a lot of Spanish music, and I'm just discovering a lot of artists and everything. I also used to listen to Spanish music back in Mexico, but not that much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also being bilingual, I mean, I guess it's always like sometimes you listen to more English, sometimes more Spanish. It depends, like maybe a mix of them, but you know.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you do you think listening to Spanish music is a good way for people to learn Spanish? For those?
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My students love music. I mean, I'm always teaching them songs, you know. I taught them El Amar y El Querer by Jose Jose.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this artist is so good. I know they say it's for señores, for parents, but I mean, my parents actually, you know, I grew up with these songs, and actually they're so romantic. So I think it's beautiful. I taught them in Valentine's Day, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they love, and they're more interested in the culture when it comes to songs and dancing. I also, like, last semester I put them to dance salsa
Mm-hmm.
with one of my friends who is very, very good at that. So he was teaching them, and they were having the time of their lives, like in the class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I think that's a great way for students to really enjoy the study portion, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
They love it.
So have you heard of Karol G's album, the one I mentioned?
Not that much, if I'm honest. As
Okay.
I said, I know it's good. She's actually, like, right now one of the biggest female artists in Latin American. And what I'm proud of is that she's getting Grammys and all of these things. I think she got her first Grammy just recently, as I saw. And I think that it's great that she's getting recognition because, you know, I think that there's a lot of artists around the world that maybe just because they are not born in, like, Hollywood, or, you know, like, they don't have these privilege. They are not that much recognized, but even if these artists build themselves up, they still got recognition, so that's what I admire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that, like, more female Latin artists are starting to get their recognition, and still continue to do that, because I think it's really important, especially. I'm sure this is changing now a lot more. It's probably different, but like probably like in a male dominant industry, just because like how that's kind of viewed as of like today. But I don't know. I like Hildry. I love her, and I love Shakira.
Oh yeah, Shakira is
Yes.
an icon, of course.
I love her music.
I think Shakira is our Beyonce in Latin America.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
I mean, that's what I think. It's like,
Okay.
you know, good quality. I mean, dance movements and, like, all of these image that you have. And she has been in the industry for so long right now, but she also built herself up, and I don't know. And also she has such variety, like English, Spanish, you know, and the genres too. And I don't know. I just think that she's an icon, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her and Rosalina. Have you?
Rosalia?
Rosalia. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Rosalia. Of course, yeah. She's also very, very good. Her voice, I think, is one of the best things about her.
Yeah.
She gets, like, very, very high, and I don't know. There's something about her voice that I love.
When I was in Germany in the study abroad program I did, this was in 2023. I went to me and a couple of other students, like one night went to a club, like a bar club, and it was like underground, and some of the music that they were playing was Rosalia, and that surprised me. I was like, wait, in Germany, in this club, they're playing Rosalia. I don't know.
That's so cool.
I did not expect that, but it was, you know, because it was like a bar. I think there was like some type of performance going on, but there was like later on. I think it was like close to midnight is when like the dance floor opened up, which I don't think they played her music during that time or any other Latin music, but it was like one of those, like, you know, one of those music that it was playing while like you're in like the general area or whatever.
Okay.
But that was like some of the ones that came up, and I was like, whoa,
interesting.
like I did not expect in Berlin, Germany, that
Yeah, wow.
Rosalia would be playing some of her music. So I was like,
That's
that
so
kind of caught me
cool.
off guard. And
Yeah.
I was just reminded of that now that I mentioned that. Some of her Motomami, that's the name of
Motomami,
her
motomami.
the album that I'm referring to. Uh, and yeah. So that's like, it just goes to show, like, you
Yeah.
know, all different people from around the world just enjoy music, right? It's
Definitely,
not
yeah.
just in Latin America or in Mexico, or it's more widespread.
Yeah, they are worldwide now.
Hmm.
Like, I've heard that, for example, J Balvin is listened in France, for example.
Hmm.
Yeah, Bad Bunny, definitely.
Yeah, and I think
In other
that's
places.
yeah, it plays a good part. I think because now anybody can just, like, if they have a phone or electronic, literally just go to Spotify, YouTube, and just play the track, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, years ago, like when we didn't have technology that was more developed, or laptops, or like when there were still cassettes, like DVDs, like
Yeah.
that was the only way at the time that people could listen to music. So like probably around when that technology was happening, like did you ever have like a VCR or like those cassettes machines where you put it in, you play music?
I
Like, you know what
think
I'm talking about?
yeah, but it's so old. Like
Yeah,
I know, I remember that we used to have like my MP3,
the
the
MP3
small
player.
one.
Yeah.
It's
So it's
so
like that's
cute.
how people, back in the day, at some point in time, the generations before us had to listen to music, and
Yeah.
probably how it's so worldwide now, probably it wasn't as much back then because like the technology wasn't there, right? Like
Mhm.
they didn't have like an iPhone, 15, 16, 17, and that can literally just instantly, just play, from Apple Music or such stuff like that.
Yes.
And nonetheless, it being on, I guess for the most part, free platforms, right? I mean, I know you can, pay like a subscription to not listen to ads, but it's free. You don't have to pay. Whereas like you would have to, I'm sure at some point in time, go into like a um to those stores to buy the DVD, to buy
Yeah,
the
no, that
cassettes,
would
to
be
buy the machine to play
so
that
much.
music. And then, I mean, I'm sure at the time that was, you know, maybe not as cheap. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eh,
It just reminded me of like how probably the generations before then maybe did not have the same experiences of what we are having now with these artists that are now coming up in the music industry.
Yeah, like for example, if you look in Spotify, you will find playlists about any vibe, any mood that you are in. I love that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think there's also or at least there is in Tidal, the streaming music platform I use, where people publish their personal playlist that they come up
Hmm.
with, and you can literally like listen to it. Like people, I guess, want to share, I guess, their music taste or like their version of like a specific mood or genre. Like you want to
Hmm.
feel mellow, or you want to feel,
I
hip
love
hop
that.
groovy or stuff like that. And then I have never had interest in looking into it because I don't know. I have my specific music and stuff, but like it's interesting that now there's like a little feature where you can listen to basically strangers just like playlists that they made
I love
personally.
that. I mean,
I mean, have you?
personally, yeah, of course. And I have like at least 30 different playlists for 30 different things
Really?
and purposes. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you specifically have got put specific amount of tracks into one playlist for a specific mood or like day you
Yes.
have?
Or yeah.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I normally do like a playlist every month for like
Okay.
however I'm feeling. I don't know if something happy happened, I put my happy song, and if
Hmm.
something not that happy happened, I will
Okay.
put that song. Like stuff that make me feel whatever emotion I'm feeling, because I'm a girl of feelings. Okay,
Yeah.
I feel a lot, so yeah, I like to do that, and even like to remind myself what happened in that, and then in the future I can go back to that playlist and literally feel the same things that I was feeling in that moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I I never thought of it that way. Because I always keep telling myself like one day I'm just gonna sit down and just like the playlist you're creating, like make a playlist to correlate to a specific mood depending how I feel,
It's
right?
so cool.
But it's just
I
like
recommend you to do it.
I know, but I just been procrastinating. I'm just like I'll do it next time, and then
It's a full time job, okay?
no, yeah, I mean, because like I mean, I'm sure you have to be very detail oriented because like you want the specific amount of tracks you want to make you feel the emotion you're wanting to feel. Or like, I mean,
Yeah.
at least that's what it sounds like with some of the playlists that
Definitely,
you're
yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
So it's like if I have, I don't know, like a lot of like happy music, and then I have like a very sad track in the middle of it, and I have that playing. Wait, where's this coming
What?
from?
Why?
It'll mess up the vibe for sure. So it's like, yeah,
I
yeah,
get
you
that.
have to be, unless you, I guess, don't mind that
I'm
happening
so
often.
invested in my playlist. I even made a playlist for San Valentin, like Valentine's Day for my students.
Really?
I made a whole playlist with like almost 400 tracks in Spanish for my students for the class.
Oh wow.
I'm so invested with playlists.
And what did they think of that one that you did?
They love it because it's like there's a lot of genres in there, like genres like Bad Bunny or more like dancing genres or more romantic,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sad genres. There's everything there, but in Spanish.
No, yeah, for sure. But no, I think it's good that we're having more female Latin artists going up on being more recognized for sure.
Yeah.
But I want to move on to the last artist that's shown
Oh,
up
I have
here.
a lot to say
Yeah,
from him.
Peso Pluma,
Yeah.
another artist that is from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I've listened to a few of his tracks, and again, not somebody that like I've specifically like, oh, I'm gonna listen to all of his albums or get tracks, but there's like a few that I like. They're not bad, but but yeah, there's especially I think I haven't listened to all his recent albums I released, but when his name comes up, I just remember just the haircut that he had for so long before he recently changed it. Like
Yes.
it's like a bowl cut, and that's just like whenever I listen to his music or I just see his name, it's just that's the first thing that comes into my head. It's just like the haircut he has because that was the thing and people wanted that type of haircut, and
Why?
then
I don't
now
know.
and now he changed it. But what do you think about
The
Peso Pluma?
haircut? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I do have unpopular opinions about Peso Pluma. So I think, I also did my research on this. I think that there's just two sides for him. Either you love him or you hate him, you
Mhm.
know? And here's why. I mean, he's such a controversial artist because his songs are mainly talking about drugs and narco culture. I know that if you listen to him, you most likely will like the rhythm, which is totally valid.
Mhm.
But yeah, not everyone. Like, I guess you will have to have context about it, you
Right,
know?
right. Like listen to like what the lyrics are meaning behind of like what he's
Yeah.
saying and stuff.
But before talking about that, because I did a whole investigation about it,
Okay.
I want to say, like, the thing that I do admire about him is that he built his own career.
Mhm.
He's not a Nepo baby or nepotism. He built his own path. And, like, it's so interesting because he was just a normal student, a normal person. And he wanted to be a football player.
Mhm.
But all of a sudden, like, yeah, he even used to be in Chivas. I don't know if you know about that.
I did
It's like team in Mexico.
not. Right.
And then he just slowly, started like playing guitar and composing musics. Then some people saw like good talent in him, and then he started, leaving that other path of football, and then he started getting like so focused in just music. So that's something that I do admire of him. But there's, other things that I don't like him and I don't like about him, which I think are not very positive. Because I mean, he is not a narco. I wanna clarify that. But yeah. I mean, you know that sometimes people can go so viral so fast. Like nowadays we are in the era that just with one click or one video you can go viral, and that's great.
Mhm.
But he it happened to him this, like, overnight he was famous, and the songs that he got famous with were I don't even know the songs, but the songs are El Belicón and Siempre Pendiente. I cannot even recognize the difference between those two, but I do know like what are they talking about. But yeah, basically, for example, in the song Siempre Pendiente, he talks about, he says, I take care of, okay, he says, um, cuidando, something like, cuidando el Chapo Guzman, something like that. He's saying, I take care of Mr. Guzman's square, you know?
Mm.
So it's like, yeah, he's kind of, I don't know if he's related to that or not, but he's saying this, and yeah, he's saying like, uh, cuido la plaza de del señor Guzmán, something like this.
Mm.
So basically saying this, like he's part of it, and yeah, this is like, I mean, for those who don't know, El Chapo Guzman, he's a narco, Mexican narco, and that's why this is so controversial, because even when the song came out, YouTube deleted this video, you know, and only few hours of when it was released. And I mean, it's like he's romanticizing narco culture and violence, which are the worst stereotypes of Mexico. And yeah, I say stereotypes because obviously the whole culture is not surrounded on that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I read is that even in the festival in Culiacan, in the screens of the concert, there was a photo of El Chapo Guzman as well. So he's basically, putting this statement that, yeah, I'm with this cartel, or like something like that,
Mm.
which is also not good for politicals as well. I know that he has been banned in some Mexican states. For example, Chihuahua. Some legislators prohibited the corridos tumbados
Mm.
in that state, and it didn't only happen in Mexico. Also, in countries like Chile, he was banned as well because people were giving the argument that he incite violence and drugs.
Mm.
So yeah, as I said, I like the rhythm, of course, and I mean, I could listen to it in parties or whatever, but like in a daily basis, I wouldn't listen to him. No, and I know like that's why I said this is an unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think he's being intentional with some of that imagery that he's providing, or is this just something that he's?
There's rumors. I'm not gonna say that I know, that,
Mm-hmm.
like this is the truth, but there's rumors that he's being sponsored by these cartels,
Mm.
especially the Chapo. So that's why he's showing that he's with him.
Mm.
But I don't know for sure, but yeah, I think that it can be possible. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he literally, I guess, catapulted himself to the fame like so fast.
Mm.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't think I'm familiar with like at least the last two albums that it mentions in an article, which is Exoto and Genesis.
I'm not either, but this is the whole, this context behind
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have to look a bit more into it because
Me
I didn't
too.
know. I just found that it's interesting now that you're bringing this up. But
Yeah.
he falls into this how do you say it? He falls into, why am I blanking on this? On the top album on Spotify. Like a lot of people listen to him because it's highlighting three different Latin artists from three different countries: Mexico, Puerto Rico, and
Colombia.
Colombia. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's three different places that um that we're getting from this article, and it's like, I don't know. I just think it is a good thing, and well, not a good thing in a sense. I think it's good that different type of artists are being mentioned, and it's not just Mexican music, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
just Colombian music, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's different from each category, right?
Yeah, I get your point. And what I love about Latin culture in general
Mm-hmm.
is that I feel like we all treat ourselves like family. Like, I don't know. Okay, these songs translate everything. Have you listened to La Gozadera by Mark Anthony.
I recognize the name, but I don't think I you would have to. Can you play it?
Yeah, I will play
Okay.
it.
I it doesn't come up right now, but
Okay,
in my head.
is this one?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So it's basically saying like, uh, uh, America Latina united, and like
Mhm.
we're like family, and actually, I mean, I know a lot of Latin American people, and I think that we do treat ourselves like we don't compete.
Yeah.
Even with music, we're like, oh yeah, I like this one and like these. We're just like, yeah, there's no competition. It's just, yeah, it's like a whole thing. It's just Latin. It's Latin culture, Latin
Yeah.
music. I think that I love that about it because, yeah, I mean, it could be the other way, and I'm glad that we're just so inclusive, I guess.
Yeah. I like how you put that. It's like
Yeah.
not the competitive portion, but just all let it just be almost in unity, just enjoying
Yes.
all the types of music and not just these specific like Colombian music, Puerto Rican music,
Exactly.
and such and such.
It's like part of a group, it's not
Mhm.
separated.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Is there anything just in general that just stuck out to you, just
Well,
about the
just thank
article?
you so much for inviting me. Yeah. And the article, I mean, I think that what I wanted to focus on would be like the interesting facts that not everybody know,
Mm-hmm.
because other things that probably people already know, we know that it's very, very good music, but not everyone knows the context. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I was talking about this. Not because I want to focus everything on politics,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's interesting. And yeah, I don't know. Right now, I'm obsessed with this song from Natalia Lafourcade. I don't know if you saw it in my story, but it's like it's the one that is called Alfonsina y el Mar.
Mm.
It's such a good song. I would recommend that to everyone.
Okay. Well, there you go, listeners. If you
Yeah.
wanna listen on some of the, that, I think Spotify,
Yeah.
YouTube Music.
And today I also taught this song for my students, which is La Llorona, and comes from the legend, the Mexican legend, La Llorona,
Yeah.
too. This song is so good, too. I taught this version, but there's other versions. The one from Angela Aguilar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He has such good voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think I have a few of his tracks as well. But as we're wrapping up here, Elizabeth, is there any final thoughts, just in general, or anything you wanna tell our listeners? Anything?
Um, I just enjoy being here, and I hope that this makes you more interested in Latin American culture. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm learning right now, even in my classes. So even if I'm Latin or Mexican, I am every day learning something new. Even if it's like literature, music, everything. Because at the end, if I'm teaching something, I need to learn more, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that it's so interesting to
Mm-hmm.
know about the culture. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's like a feeling that a lot of us can understand. It's just like no matter how much like you're knowledgeable about something, like you just learn something every day. Learn
Yeah,
something new every day.
you will feel like you know nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way you want to learn more every day. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, listeners. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for being
Mm,
here. I enjoyed the
thank you.
conversation, and I'm glad that you took the time to come in today. But yeah, that's gonna be it today, for this episode. Make sure you guys tune in into our next one. We're gonna continue to try to do every 2 weeks, but of course, things happen. But we do have our women empowerment general body meeting coming up, so do look out for that. We'll post more and information as the time gets closer. And yeah, you can listen to us on Spotify and YouTube Music, and we're still in the process of going on Apple Music, so stay tuned in for that. And yeah, enjoy the weather. I know I'm enjoying the weather, and yeah, hopefully you have a good time at
Definitely.
your friends' exhibits.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you for listening.
All right, all right, and peace out, y'all.
Bye bye.
Okay.